Welcome back to the NFL Alumni's continuing coverage of Super Bowl 59. I'm Bram Weinstein. We're presented by Pacera, transforming how the world treats pain. This is Soul. Brandon Coleman, former New Orleans Saints wide receiver, and now you've merged into health and wellness.
Yes, man. It was something that was personal for me after I retired due to neck injury and hip surgery. I suffered from depression and anxiety, and that was something that I wasn't prepared for at that time, right? We play a very violent sport in the NFL, and we take a lot of trauma physically, but also comes with that is the mental trauma, the emotional trauma that really gets suppressed, and then it came to the surface during, that transition, and something that like I said, I wasn't prepared for, and then I took a more holistic approach after I hit my rock bottom, and I wanted to be that representation and to inspire change for this next generation.
Yeah, let me go through your experience. You suffer the injury, your career ends up coming to an end.
Yeah.
What happens from there? I mean, it's probably, I know you think it's possible, but it must be so unexpected when it occurs.
To be honest, I wasn't ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to come back. I was actually, doing everything that I could physically to prepare myself to come back, because I wanted to keep fighting. But then I had to realize, after having neck surgery, put things into a bigger perspective, like my total health and the longevity and vitality of, I'm not 25 years old at the time, so I'm just thinking bro, you want to be able to, walk and have grandkids one day, so those little things we take for granted, and not wanting to put that at risk. And so, it wasn't easy to come to terms with, and come to peace with it, but I'm glad I eventually did, but it was not an easy transition.
How'd you get there?
Man, it took a lot of support, from my family, from the people in my circle, but actually, taking courage to actually look in the mirror and be like, bro, I'm not okay. Let's go get some help. Yeah.
And this kind of led you down this path where you wanted to pursue this on behalf of other people?
Yes, on behalf of other people, but it started with myself. I knew I wasn't going to be able to help others if I wasn't going to be willing and have the courage to help myself. And that's what I think a lot of people, really need help with, is everybody's doing something for everybody else, but they're putting themselves on the back burner, right? And so on the airplane, most people flew in and they tell you that you got to put your mask on first, right? But we take that and it goes over our head. But that's truly important, and that's what I really want to not just preach, but I actually want to walk that myself.
Yeah, I think mental health, it's more open in the conversation than it used to be, but you're working in it day to day.
Yeah.
Is the reality that there is still a lot of people who are kind of unwilling to address it as much as maybe they feel like they should?
I think that gap is decreasing, but we still have a lot more work to do, right? Like 10 years ago, the conversation was still taboo. It was the stigma was so high, right? Kevin Love and other professional athletes, Gabby, Naomi, they started to speak out publicly about what they're experiencing, and so that opened the door for the conversation to be had. And now there's awareness, but now let's start to talk about what steps that we can do to actually make that change in our mental health, in our emotional well-being.
And you're working with 23andMe?
23andMe is something that I wanted to partner with, because my whole lifestyle is mind, body, and soul, and so encompassed in that is total health. Right, and so being able to be aware of what I'm actually going through, in my DNA, in my blood, that way I can have access and awareness to know what steps do I need to take, and go speak with this doctor or caretaker to make sure that, like I said, longevity is the key.
Yeah, so you're finding out about your genetic line.
That's important too, right? And so just to being able, that gives you information to know what steps you need to take to move forward.
All right, so give some advice. Just NFL alumni, anybody.
Yeah.
What should they be thinking about when they want to help themselves during life's journey?
I think the most important thing is your why. So figuring out what your why is, and so some people, it could be your legacy, right? If you have kids, if you want to leave something behind, it's got to be something bigger than yourself, right? And so that we're not just put on here just to do work and then just transition. No, we're actually supposed to leave something behind to make this world a better place.
So it's a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you
talk
so much
with
for coming on.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.